it's flat. Now that one's much bigger than the machine-made shoes. That's why I like to make my own clips. I like to be able to dictate the size of what I'm doing. So once I get it where I want it, it goes right here in the vise. Get the edges off of it. Make it look pretty. That's exactly what it is. It's a big giant nail file.
Yeah, don't use it on your fingers though.
Nope. Make sure it's flat. What do you think? Is the shoe still hot?
Yeah.
Listen. Now it's cool. Alright. So we'll knock the edges off of this piece. Can you guys see the little stuff that's coming off the steel when I bring it out? That's called slag. That is the impurities in the steel that get released once you heat it. So I'm going to take this big brush right here, and as I go along, brush off the little pieces of slag.
It's not red.
Alright, so I got the corners knocked off. I'm going to put my toe bend in it. See how easy this moves when it's hot? I can do anything I want with it. I can. I can make a sword. So I'm using the horn of the anvil to give me my shape. Now I also have to put the holes in it for the nails to go in when I go to nail it on. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop stuff the whole time, guys. That's part of the program. I'm going to mark my nail holes. Now this steel is pretty cool right now, so I can't put my nail holes fully through it. So I'm just going to mark them. Alright, so I don't have any more heat in that, so that's got to go back in. And it sounds like, you guys hear the difference? This isn't as loud anymore. Guess what? I ran out of propane in that tank. So give me just 1 second.
What's covering inside
The white stuff? It's called Farrier. It's just a synthetic brick material that insulates and keeps the heat inside of it. Yes? I can go through a 20-pound propane tank, average about 3 to 4 days. But I always carry 2, and sometimes I carry a 30-pound or a 40-pound. It's like this tall. So I got the heat back in the center of this shoe. Get rid of my slag. Put my toe bend in it. Always making sure I'm flat. And now I can start pulling my branch around. And you see how this just takes the shape of the anvil as I hit it? So I got my branch done. Mark my nail holes. Yeah, as I touch the steel with the tongs, travels up tongs. So every now and again, I got to dump the tongs in the bucket of water.
Wow.
Now on a summer day, when I have 8 or 9 horses to do in a barn, I can put about 10 shoes in that bucket of water, and then the water will be so hot you can't touch it. And I have to get a fresh bucket of water.
How long does it take you to do shoes for 8 horses in a barn in one day?
4 new shoes on a horse averages about 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Is that nailing them up too?
That's everything. Making them, pulling them off, trimming the feet, new shoes, nailing them on. So I got to knock the corners off of this branch, bring it back into itself. And I still have enough heat, so I'll go ahead and turn my branch. Starting to kind of look like a horseshoe. So I got enough heat left. I'll mark my nail holes. Back in the fire it goes. See how hot that's in there now? Same thing, bring the corners off of it. Turn the branch. Flatten it up. Now I will do competitions with other farriers at big conferences. We'll get a certain piece of steel and a prescription for a shoe that we have to make, and then the clock starts and you have usually 35 minutes to make a shoe, and they're much more complicated. This is probably the most basic shoe you can make, a flat punched shoe, but a lot of times we'll make, this is called a bar shoe. It's a therapeutic shoe. It's made out of one continuous piece of steel forge welded together. So a lot of times the therapeutic shoes are used in contests. So you have 35 minutes to shape the shoe, weld it, run your crease, and punch your nails. So if you drop a tool or break a tool, you're done. You need every second. So I've got my nail holes marked in this shoe, and I got the whole thing hot. Get the slag off so I can see my marks. And I'm going to drive this in a little bit deeper so the nail heads that I'm going to use to put the shoe on the horse fit just flush in the shoe. This little cup I keep dipping my tool in is beeswax. It lubricates the tool. It also cools it off. If you get steel too hot, it will get brittle and break. And this picks up a lot of heat as I'm driving it through this steel. So I've got the holes punched for the nail heads. Now I need to drive it all the way through the shoe so the nail can go through. That's where the nail heads are going to fit. And I'm going to take, this is called a pritchel. Tool steel, very sharp. And I'm going to drive this through the steel. nail fit right through the shoe. So now there's a little bit of steel left on the back of it where the nail, when the bristle came through. This just cleans it up. Now essentially this shoe's done, but it's not that pretty. I like pretty. If you can see where the nail holes are, there's a little bump in the steel where the steel got pushed out. I need to take care of those bumps. They're called frog eyes. And the shape's a little off. The shape is a little off, so I'm going to throw it back in the forge. And the last heat will be what we call cleanup heat. Makes it look pretty and all the imperfections taken out of it. This is about 1700 degrees right now. The pink handle on the brush, anyone want to guess what that's about? It's don't brush off breast cancer. $20 from every brush goes to the Breast Cancer Research Society. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said it was for girls, so I was pretty close.
This forge is pretty loud, so I have a tough time hearing when you guys are talking. So if I don't answer you, just speak up. So I got them punched through. I got them marked. It's set. Now I'm going to punch them through.
You dropped another tool on the ground.
Yes, I did. Told you I was going to drop a lot of stuff. I usually have a table that I throw all my tools on.
Here. What's that? Oh. That's cold.
So here's a little tip for you guys. If you're ever using a hammer to hit something with, most hammers, except for like a claw hammer that you drive nails with in a fence board or something, most hammers have two sides to them. One is flat, the other one has a little bit of a bubble to it. If you're striking a tool, such as this or a chisel, always strike with the side that has the bubble to it, not the flat side. It gives you more power and it keeps it from deflecting, bouncing off in other directions. So I'm going to take the little excess steel off the back. And then this just needs to go in for a cleanup heat. And even though I shut the forge off already, it's pretty efficient in holding the heat. So again, I'm going to use the anvil to give me my shape. Don't have to hit it very hard because it's very hot. I'm going to take it back to the vise, take some of the sharp edges off of the heels. Now what I said about the tongs, listen. The heat just travels up the tongs the longer I hold the shoe. I'll be honest with you guys, when I have electricity to plug into, I don't do a whole lot hot red. This takes care of all the stuff I'm doing with this rag. But this is the traditional way to do it. Alright, I need a volunteer. How about you? Yep. Come over here by Nathan. Right there. Hold on one sec. So, last thing I gotta do is make sure it's flat. Alright, what you're going to do, you're grab these right here, put it in that bucket of water, and shake it around. Okay? Keep going. Keep shaking. Now if I threw a red hot shoe in that bucket of water, it superheats the water around it, and it doesn't cool the shoe. It boils the water off. So if you just throw it in there, reach in and grab it, it's still going to be hot. It needs a pretty good amount of time to cool off. Did you lose it? Here, let me show you a trick. Watch this. You ready? Grab it. It's cool.
Oh, it's a magnet.
You can grab it. It's not hot anymore. You can grab it with your hands. There you go. Pass it around. So this one just needs a cleanup. Take out my frog eyes. Get my shape. I don't need to hit it very hard at all when it's this hot. And if I hit it too hard, what I'll end up doing is close up the holes I just punched in it for the nails, and the nails won't fit. So it's a very fine line. So take it back here, clean up the heels. Horses do lay down when they sleep, so if I have any sharp edges on my shoes, when they lay down and they fold their leg up underneath their belly, any sharp edges is going to give them a sore or cut them. So it's very important for me to make sure all my shoes have no sharp edges on them. Make sure it's flat. And for this one, we're going to polish this one up. The bristles on this brush combined with the water take out all the slag or all the impurities out of the steel. right, how about another volunteer? Grant? Over there by Nathan. Right here. Hold it right here at the end. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. Squeeze it hard. Stick it in the bucket. Shake it around. Keep shaking it. All right, let's see. Oh! Kidding. There you go. Pass it around. So that's it in a nutshell, guys.
Very
All right.